Yep. Ready? You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm Chaz Messman alongside Luis Lopez outside the Venetian Hotel and Casino. We just came from the Kansas City Chiefs media availability this morning. And Luis, the biggest takeaway has to be that they're just ready to play a football game.
Yeah, those guys obviously ready here for Sunday at Allegiant Stadium. One of the things that really stood out to me, I had a chance to talk to Isaiah Pacheco, and I asked him, how do you guys face a defense that's as good as the 49ers? Obviously, everybody's been talking about that all season, and he'll very much know that. Obviously, they have talented linebackers like Fred Warner and a great front four as well. And he basically just mentioned to me, you know what, it's not even really about shutting all that out. He fully acknowledged it and said, yeah, they do have a great defense, but trying to just, kind of stay focused really is what he's more so worried about. And, yeah, like you said,
he's got to be licking his lips because the 49ers defense, as great as they are, over the past 2 games, they've given up over 300 rushing yards to running backs over the past couple of games. Also, Patrick Mahomes, he's been here before, done that, but still a driven player. He talked about how he's ready to just get a football game going because all this other stuff, it doesn't mean much until you start throwing the football on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like one of the keys for the 49ers in general is they're not going to be able to get off to a slow start like they've done in these first 2 playoff games. Obviously, they did so against the Packers, and it didn't really cost them as much because the Packers didn't necessarily take advantage on the offensive side of the ball, and then we saw it again against the Lions. That nearly cost them, as we saw the big lead that the Lions jumped out to in the first half. I think that if the Niners do that again here in the Super Bowl on Sunday, that it's unfortunately going to cost them a game in that sense because, again, I think the Chiefs will just be way too much to overcome.
Example A, the Baltimore Ravens just a couple of weeks ago fell behind early. Lamar Jackson tried to drive them back into the game, but that Chiefs defense is for real this year, especially with the likes of Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, who we both got a chance to talk to as well today.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best Chiefs defense that they've had while Mahomes has been on the team. And we talked about it all week. This hasn't necessarily been the Chiefs team that many people have come to appreciate over the past few years. They've really had to ride that defense to this Super Bowl berth and this AFC championship. And they're likely going to have to do the same again here on Sunday. Again, we've been talking about how good the Niners defense is. You mentioned one of those big weaknesses, but right now it just seems like the Chiefs are hitting a different gear when it comes to the postseason, so definitely.
But they're in for another challenge because when you look at that 49ers offense, it's just weapons galore for Brock Purdy to be able to pick and choose from. And that's something that Christian McCaffrey talked about yesterday during his press conference, is that he feels that because they have so many different options, whether it be him that gets double covered, Deebo Samuel who gets double covered, there's so many different ways that they can hurt you that it really makes it easy for his quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, you mentioned their quarterback, Brock Purdy. There's been so much discourse around him throughout this entire year. So many people calling him just a game manager. But you know what? He's gotten the job done. He's gotten them to this Super Bowl berth. And you know what? He's just taken advantage of the fact that he has those weapons around him. And that's why they've been able to be so successful this year.
Absolutely. And the Arizona connection with Brock Purdy. Obviously, he went to Perry High School, grew up outside of Phoenix, the Phoenix area. But he's not the only one. You got Brandon Ayuk, former Arizona State standout. And then there's a couple other guys in there that we're going to show you on a little bit later who have a great connection to the Grand Canyon State.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, Chaz mentioned that. That'll be part of some of our coverage a little later tonight in our newscast on both 13 on Your Side and News 11. We'll showcase some of those connections to the Grand Canyon State, like you mentioned, in our newscast a little later tonight. So that'll be something for people to look forward to. And if you missed it last night, we'll also be showcasing some of the food that'll be available at Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, and it was pretty tasty, to say the least. I'm a big Wagyu steak guy myself. I don't know what you had a favorite from that they need to check out.
Yeah, I happened to try the lobster along with that Wagyu steaks. Just basic lobster, really nothing too special about it, at least in terms of the technique or anything like that with the cooking, but absolutely amazing. We also got a chance to try some baked potatoes as well. Even the popcorn was solid. There really wasn't a single thing that we had that didn't disappoint because it was absolutely amazing.
Well, the fans who are going to the game, they're going to be absolutely fine. And yeah, the fans here in Las Vegas just keep getting more and more. It starts to get more and more packed. You see a lot more NFL jerseys for both the Niners, Chiefs, and across the league. So football is really starting to take over the Strip. We'll keep you covered all week long. We'll see you guys real soon.